Hi everyone, it's me, Spring, the fiber enthusiast, and welcome to the channel. Today's tutorial is another hat for charity. All right, what I mean by that is for ease and speed, I do a standard crown and a standard ribbing, and then I add some type of pattern to the center to give the body of the hat some design. But it works up quick because it's pretty much a standard routine for me and a couple others that do this same situation here, is the crown and the brim. But the center here is where we kick it up a notch for a few repeats and make it special. So things that you're gonna need a worsted weight yarn and a hook to match. Now, this is entirely up to you what yarn you use with what hook. It's gonna depend on your tension. For me, for this beanie, I used Premier Gradients, and it's a worsted weight, and I used a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. You will also need a pair of scissors, a darning needle, and potentially a stitch marker to mark the end and beginning of your rounds. So here it is. It almost has a waffle effect to it. Almost. But it is not the waffle stitch. So that's the outside. I'll show you the inside. There's your inside. All right. So again, I do these for charity, Bumblebee Mountain Outreach specifically, because they are local to me, friends of mine, and I make up beanies and give them to her for Bumblebee Mountain Outreach. Now, if you'd like more information about that, you can check K&K Crochet out down in the description box. All right, everyone. So I hope you enjoy this fun little tutorial. All right. So those of you that like to do a magic loop, now's your time to shine. Those of us that like to do a chain 4 and slip stitch to that first chain, here we go. We're going to chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to slip stitch to that very first chain to create a ring to work in. Now, I do work over the top of my tail so that way I can use it to cinch up the ring. Now, I also do what is known as a mock double crochet, or some have called it a freestanding double crochet. I'm going to go through it real slow with you the very first time, or you can just do the chain 2 or chain 3 or chain 1 and double crochet. However you would do a starting stitch as a double crochet and you're most comfortable, feel free to do so. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to be doing it, so that way when you see me do it throughout the pattern, you'll know what I'm doing. So I draw up a loop to the height of a double crochet, and I place my finger on that loop and I hold it so that way I can slide it back and forth, but it doesn't go around that hook. So I'm holding it nice and tight. I'm going to bring my hook towards me, down and under and back up. That gives us the appearance of 2 loops on our hook. We're going to come around and stick our hook into that ring, yarn over and pull up a loop. We now have the appearance of 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and go through 2. Now this loop you're holding is the top of that mock double crochet. So we're going to yarn over and go through those last 2 and place our stitch marker into the top of that mock double crochet. So right there underneath that loop we were holding. Now we're going to place 9 more double crochets into this ring, giving us a total of 10 double crochets when we slip stitch to our very first stitch. So I'm going to work on my 10 and I'll be right back. All right, so now we've made our 10 double crochets. At this time, you can pull that closed and sew in your tail if you so choose. You can wait until you're completely done to do that if you would like. Now we're going to place 2 double crochets in every single stitch all the way around for round 2. That will give us a total of 20 stitches for round 2. So just 2 double crochets in every single stitch all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and replace my stitch marker. There we are. And 2 double crochets in every stitch. I'll meet up with you after you have your 20 double crochets. All right, so round 3 is 30 double crochets. So we're going to 2 in the first one. Replace my stitch marker back into that first one. And 1 into the next. So that's what your repeat is for round 3. You're going to place 2 double crochets into the next stitch and 1 into the following. And repeat that all the way around for a total of 30 stitches for round 3. Moving on to round 4. Round 4, you will have 40 double crochets. So we're going to place 2 in the first stitch, 1 and 2. Replace my stitch marker. And 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And that is our repeat. 2 double crochets into the next stitch. And 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Go ahead and continue around with that repeat for round 4. You will have 40 double crochets. I'll meet up with you at the end. All right, for round 5, which is 50 double crochets, we're going to place 2 double crochets into our very first stitch. And then 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And that will be our repeat all the way around for round 5 for a total of 50 double crochets. So 2 double crochets into the next stitch and 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches for your repeat. All right, I'll meet up with you after we both have 50 stitches. All right, round 6 is our last increasing round, and we will have 60 double crochets. So we are going to place 2 double crochets into the very first stitch and 1 into each of the next 4 stitches. And that will be your repeat for the round. Two double crochets into the next. And 1 into each of the next 4 stitches. Again, at the end of round 6, you will have a total of 60 stitches. I will meet up with you at the end and we will move on to round 1 of our pattern round. All right, once you have your 60 stitches, your crown done, we're going to begin our 2 round repeat for the body of the hat. You're going to chain 1 and single crochet back into the same stitch. Now we're going to begin with a single crochet 3 together. So we're going to go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. And into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. You should have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through all 4 loops. Chain 1. Now we're going to do that again, beginning in the last worked stitch. So you're going to go back into that last worked stitch and pull up a loop, and then each of the next 2 stitches. Again, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 and chain 1. And this is our repeat all the way around. When we get to the end, we're going to slip stitch to that first single crochet that you made. So one more time, we're going to go into that last work stitch, pull up a loop, and then each of the next 2. And chain 1, and then repeat all the way around. I'll meet up with you when we get back around here to our first single crochet. All right, for round 2 of your 2-round repeat, we're going to mock double crochet or chain up into that very first stitch. Now we're going to take a look at our next stitch. So we had a 3 together single crochet. So single crochet, 3 together. Well, we have this space before it and a space after it when you look at the stitch. We're going to double crochet into that space. We're going to front post double crochet that 3 together single crochet. Then you're going to go back into this same stitch and place another double crochet and repeat. We're going to go and front post that 3 together single crochet and double crochet back into that stitch beside it. Front post the 3 together single crochet and double crochet into the space next to it. And you're going to repeat this all the way around until you get to the end. Your very last stitch will be a double crochet into that space after your 3 together single crochet. You will have 60 stitches once you've reached the end. So one more time, we're going to front post, going in and behind, popping that 3 together single crochet up, and front post, double crochet it, and then gonna go right back into that stitch next to it and double crochet. And you will repeat the row prior and this row for the body of your hat. Once you have approximately 4 to 6 inches of height to your beanie from the crown and the pattern, which usually you repeat the pattern 3 to 4 times and that's enough. And then we start the brim. The brim for me is a standard 1x1 ribbing, front post, back post, double crochets. Now I'll come back and show you how to do that once I have the body of my hat made. All right, so once you have the body of your beanie worked up, now I did 1, 2, 3, 4 repeats of the 2-row repeat. Now I'm going to do a brim, and I do a 1x1 ribbing, which is a front and back post double crochet. And I do that for approximately 3 to 4 rounds. Now, just as a reference guide, where I'm at right now is 6 inches from the point of the crown to the bottom of the body of the beanie, the pattern part. So real quick, we're gonna do the front post, back post. Now, we already have that going because we have the front post around that 3 together single crochet stitch, and we can use that one before it and that one after it as our back post. So what I'm going to do here is this very first stitch, I'm going to front post double crochet. Now you can, if you chain up, you can go behind it and pull through and through. Let me get that. Pull through and slip stitch. My yarn is super slick. All right, here we go. Through and through, and then chain up. What that does is that pops that stitch out as a front post right away. Now, if you're doing mock double crochets, like myself, this is how we will do it. We will do the mock double crochet start, then we're going to go behind that post to make it a front post, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then finish your mock double crochet. And you're going to do that every single round when you begin the new round. Now the next stitch will be a back post double crochet. And then the following stitch will be that front post double crochet. And you'll just repeat this all the way around, and you'll do 3 or 4 rounds of it, whatever you like. It's up to you. And you can change this to whatever kind of brim you so choose if you want to do something different from the pattern. But I thought the pattern ended up turning out really cool looking and not real feminine. It actually, it could be for anybody. And it's actually pretty thick. So, all right, everyone, that is it for this beanie. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial and was able to follow along with multiple different types of beanie, because I start my crown off in a totally different yarn, and it's just a standard video that I carry throughout these different beanies. All right, everyone, be blessed, be a blessing, and until next time, bye for now.